So this is the practice platform paper. Look, right? So this is how it looks, and this is how your actual exam will also look, right? Please try this mock exam. By the way, we would do it in full, and it will be uploaded on the exam platform, and it's available separately for students to purchase as well. Yeah, it's for all, it's free. For PPIM students, it's given free of charge. But I think for external students, you'll have to purchase. But I'm just going to look at this paper, right, Jin?
It's like exam reports.
Yes. So you know that you go through them, exam reports. You will see the common mistakes made by students. So you will know that, okay, what I should avoid. Okay, you will be presented with 2 constructed response questions, 20 marks each. Right? Yeah.
I want to do this.
No, I'm not going through all the questions. I'm only going through some things that Asmat wanted me to go through. Question number? So this has section A, and then it also has section section B 20 to 25, you said, no?
No.
Then what is the difficult one you said? Some revenue thing. 25.
Question 21, 25, I got 4 questions.
Yeah.
Two was theory.
Why can't this navigate to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. What's difficult in this? Contribution per bottle of water. And they ask,
No, not this one. I got.
break even sales for the period.
No, I got this.
Sales revenue required to achieve a target profit that is equal to 12% return on the estimate. So you have to find the target profit first, add that to fixed cost, divide by contribution.
Yeah, I did that.
Then?
But what I did was, I was gonna be like over smart, you know. I
Okay.
did then took the whole number of units and then multiplied that by the selling price. So then that comes out.
You have to take 12% of the initial investment as target profit.
Then I did take that. I did everything.
Then what did your contribution went wrong?
No.
Then
So you get the units.
what's the formula for sales revenue required? You have to take fixed cost plus target profit divided by is this 2 products.
What?
Then divided by the CS ratio.
I did a mistake.
Then
What I did was I had the answer, I had both answers, but then I chose to write a more logical answer.
to the nearest dollar.
So I did
Meaning when you took your CS ratio, you have to take contribution divided by sales. What's the formula you used? Why did you do all that? You don't have to do that. Yeah, but why do you have to take like whole units and all? You just need what? You just need what's the formula? Fixed cost. You have the fixed cost plus target profit easily you can take. Divide by CS ratio. How do you find CS ratio? Contribution is 25. You have to find the contribution divided by 75. CS ratio.
I think
Yeah, you have not followed the formula. Then
I got everything.
the other thing is I have to check your.
I got this one, bro.
Okay. Budgeted overheads. Why do you figure out why it's wrong? You know that. You know it's
I didn't use my.
okay then.
I completely omitted production.
Thing is, I have to.
Miss, there is a question.
Yeah. Any other question you have, Amna, with regard to this to clear?
Yeah, the 6th question regarding efficiency.
Oh, I don't know why it's not loading.
You won't do it again.
Look into that. By the way, this paper I will be recording it, right? And it will be available on your LMS by Friday night or Saturday morning, she said. So therefore, I will not be having another TRG class. This will be the last TRG class. So any doubts you all have, please clear it today. Because today will be the last TRG class. You have sent me doubts?
No, that question that's
This girl who, I'm not take a picture of that and send it to me. This is not loading. Send it to me.
When you're in that,
Yeah, I don't know. It's not loading. That's the thing. Any other now? I think I have done questions from pretty much all the areas, transfer pricing and everything. Okay. So you all tell me now what other area do you all need some extra revision from? I did just now. I did a question on transfer pricing, and did I do a question on ROI?
It's not easy. I think I get confused in variances.
You all want me to do further questions from what area? Tell me. I just did transfer pricing as well. What do you all want me to do further questions from? Where? Biscuits and cakes is what area? You all want to do this? Residual income?
Should I resend your question?
Yeah, recent. Which of the following is least likely to be used as a non-financial performance indicator for measuring the efficiency of a public hospital that is under the management of Health Ministry of Greenland? What is likely to be less likely to be used for measuring efficiency? What is efficiency? Efficiency is what? Economy is cheapest possible. Effectiveness is meeting objective. Efficiency is your input output conversion. So which one will you least likely use for efficiency? Utilization is a measure of efficiency, Amna. You have said percentage of operating data utilization. Utilization meaning what? Like how much of your inputs are you utilizing for your output. So that is right. Right? What is wrong? Percentage of admissions that have waited longer than the national standard. That's also looking at your efficiency. How efficient are you in keeping your staff waiting? Or your admissions waiting. Doctor-patient ratio is also efficiency. Percentage of operating theatre that is equipped with an advanced screening device. That advanced screening device is about what? It's about technology, and it's less about efficiency.
you could have it, you couldn't have it, wouldn't change
It wouldn't change your efficiency, exactly.
It's like innovation.
Compared to the other three alternatives which reflect utilization of different types of resources, the other three alternatives are looking at the resources you are utilizing and measure the efficiency of the resource usage. This is a reflection of specific facilities found in the theatre rather than a non-financial performance indicator.
That screen could be used,
Could not be used. The percentage of operating theatre that is equipped with an advanced screening device. That's the out of the lot, that is the least likely. It's from the practice platform exam. Out of the options, Amna, that's the least likely option. Okay. What are the areas you all want me to do on now? There's a question here on ROI. I thought of doing it because I didn't do one question on that. After that, you all tell me whatever area you all want. Because with this question, I have covered all areas during revision. What is your question?
Into best nights.
Where, Amna? That is the question you have answered, no? You want me to mark your answer, no? No, that, not that. I want you to tell me what area to do further questions from. This marking is, we can do it. Biscuits, Azmat has a variance, operational planning, or what? What's the areas that you're finding difficult?
I was mostly serious.
Okay, so first I'll do this, okay?
Actually, variances, when you see the questions in this part, no questions they twist and give, no, they give the variance and then tell us
Yeah.
why to- only like the basic and the advanced variance, when it comes in that way, I find it.
So you want me to do section A questions on variances, okay? Biscuits and cakes, the biscuit division, division B, and the cakes division, division C are two divisions of a large manufacturing company Although both divisions operate in almost identical markets, each division operates separately as an investment center. Each month, operating statements must be prepared by each division, and these are used as a basis for performance measurement of the divisions. Last month, senior management decided to recharge head office costs to the division. Consequently, each division is now going to be required to deduct a share of head office cost in its operating statement before arriving at the net profit, because there is a portion of uncontrollable costs now, which is then used to calculate the ROI. Prior to this, ROI has been calculated using controllable profit only. The company's target ROI, however, remains unchanged at 20% per year. For each of the last 3 months, Division B and C have maintained ROIs of 22% per year and 23% per year respectively, resulting in healthy bonuses being awarded to staff. The company has a cost of capital of 10%. So they have given you the operating statements for the 2 divisions for July. Revenue is given, variable cost reduction, contribution, less controllable fixed cost, your controllable profit is given. Less apportion to head office cost. You should not be taking head office cost. They have actually given you the controllable profit very easy.
ROI, only like the way I go wrong is getting the net profit.
You have to take controllable
Yeah,
profit.
but then we made the mistake and we
Net profit, net divisional assets are given. Calculate the expected annualized ROI using the new method as preferred by the senior management based on the above budgeted operating statement for each division. What's the new method? Prior to this, ROI has been calculated using controllable profit only. The company's target ROI, however, remained unchanged. Last month, senior management decided to recharge head office costs to the division. Consequently, each division is now going to be required to deduct a share of head office costs in its operating statement before arriving at the net profit, which is then used to calculate the ROI. Oh, okay, they're saying now these guys, earlier they were using controllable profit. Now these guys are going to use the net profit. So they are asking you to calculate ROI using the net profit. That's what they're saying. Even B part, calculate the annualized residual income for each division based on the net profit figure. But that's wrong way to calculate ROI. You don't generally calculate it with net profit. But we have to first do what they're asking us to do, right? They're telling us to do it how the senior management wants it. So that means you have to first calculate it using what? Net profit divided by net assets. Generally, we take, you read the question carefully. Generally, how is ROI calculated? Controllable profit divided by net assets. Now, that is how they have been doing it past few years. But this year, the management wants to try it this way. And the examiner is asking you, according to the management's preference, calculate the ROI. So, can you understand? You have to change the formula of ROI here. But you have to do it because that's what they're requiring you to do. Do not try to be over smart, right? Do what the examiner wants you to do. So you have, in this case, you have to take the net profit.
like when I don't know when I need to be over question. Like the question I got.
You have to do what the examiner wants you to do. Okay. Now here, this is only 1 month. They want you to calculate the annualized one. But can you see that they've only given you July's net profit? So how do you take the annual net profit then? You have to take 311 multiply by 12. You have to take the annual net profit, 311,000 multiplied by 12. Then divide it by 23.2, the net assets. Can you see that? That's what they mean by annualized. Okay. For B also you do the same thing. 292 into 12 divide by 22.6. Guys, this is not the right way to do ROI, but they just want you to do it how they told you, right? How these guys want to do it. Calculate the annualized residual income for each of the divisions based on the net profit figures. Again, right? So annualized meaning net RI, how do we take? Net profit divide by multiply by 12 minus the cost of capital, right? RI, how do you calculate? Controllable profit, but here we take controllable net profit minus the imputed interest charge. So interest charge will be 23.2 million into 10% cost of capital.
It's preparing us to.
So net profit you have to take. How do you take the net profit? 311 multiplied by 12, that amount, minus the imputed interest charge. Can you understand? So this is how they have calculated based on the senior management's new proposal. Okay. Then they tell you Discuss the expected performance of each of the two divisions using the ROI and RI and making any additional calculation deemed necessary. Conclude as to whether, in your opinion, the two divisions have performed well. So let's just look at this. Division B has a ROI of 16.1, Division C has 15.5. RI Division B is again greater than Division C. Okay. ROI Division B and C have ROIs of 16.1 and 15.55% respectively compared to the target of 20%, meaning it's lower for both divisions. They have not met their targets. This suggests that the divisions have not performed well, but the reason for this is that now uncontrollable head office costs are also included. So is that controllable profit for the divisional manager? Can you judge his performance based on these calculations we just did? We can't. Because now we have included, we have taken net profit, meaning we are taking uncontrollable cost as well. Can you see that? So these have been taken into effect before calculating the ROI. The target ROI has not been reduced to reflect the change in the method used. They're still keeping the ROI at the same target. But they've changed the method, meaning the target also has to be changed now because you are including a higher cost for the divisional managers. And those costs these guys don't even have control of. Using the old method, ROI would have been, using only the controllable profit, ROI would have been, you take only the controllable profit. Meaning you have to take 466 and 472. Can you see that? Then you would have got above 20%. Can you see that? So actually divisional managers have met the return. Can you see that? The other extra cost they took was uncontrollable cost. Those guys are not responsible for that. From this, we can see that both divisions have actually improved their performance rather than having it become worse. RI, from the residual income figures, it can clearly be seen that B and C have performed well with a healthy RI figure of 1.4 and 1.2 even after minusing uncontrollable costs. Even when using the net profit rather than controllable profit as basis for the calculation. The cost of capital of the company is significantly lower than the target return on investment that the company seeks. We are wanting a return of 20%, cost of capital was only 10%, so we're looking at extra 10, making the residual income figure more a positive position. Then they are asking you, Division B has now been offered an immediate opportunity to invest in a new machine at a cost of 1.68 million. The machinery is expected to have a useful economic life of 4 years, after which it would have no residual value. Division B's policy is to depreciate all of its machinery on a straight line basis over the life of the asset. The machinery would be expected to expand its production capacity, resulting in an 8.5% increase in contribution per month. Recalculate Division B's annualized ROI and annualized RI based on July's budgeted operating statement after adjusting for investment. State whether the managing director will be making a decision that is in the best interest of the company as a whole if ROI is being used for the basis. Now what's happening with the investment? You're investing how much? 1.68 million. Listen, you're investing 1.68 million. How many months investment is this? It's been depreciated over how many years? 4 years, meaning how many months? 48 months. Why are they taking month? Because the monthly profits are only given here. Right? So what's the monthly depreciation? 35,000 per month. Net profit for July, 311,000, the current net profit. Plus, why have they increased this by 8.5%? What is that 8.5%? Because they told you that the machinery would be expected to expand Division B's production capacity, resulting in an 8.5% increase in contribution. What is your contribution? 600,000. That's going to increase by 8.5%, meaning that will be also the increase in net profit. Correct? So your net profit will increase by 600,000 into 8.5%. Your new net profit will increase by that, but it will go down by the depreciation. Can you understand? So what will your, every month it's getting depreciated by 35,000, right? You reduce it to calculate net profit. So your net profit for July will now be 327,000. How did you get that? The old one plus the increase in contribution minus the depreciation. So the new net profit into 12, annualized net profit, divided by the initial investment will now go up by how much? Earlier investment was 23.2, but now you are investing 1.6 million, right? Correct. So your investment will be what? 24.88. So new net profit divided by the new investment into 100, ROI is 15.8%. Meaning ROI is falling or increasing? Falling, no, for division B. It's falling. With the RI with the investment, the new net profit figure we calculated here, imputed interest on the 20 new investment. That is what's happening to RI. RI is increasing. RI is increasing. ROI is falling. So based on ROI, what will the division B manager do? It's dropping. So he will reject the investment. Whereas the RI increase the return. So is the decision he made wrong or right? Wrong. Wrong. Based on ROI, if he makes a decision, it's wrong. If the managing director makes a decision based on the ROI, he will reject the investment, as the ROI with the investment is 15.8%, which is less than the ROI without the investment. If he makes the decision based on RI, the investment will be accepted, right? Because they are getting a higher return. RI is consistent with the objective of maximizing wealth of shareholders. So any investment that increases RI should actually, I told you RI is the superior method. Do you remember? But if the managing director uses ROI, he will reject the investment. This will be inconsistent with the goal of maximizing wealth of shareholders. Right? So in an exam, this is an example of goal incongruence. You are not behaving in the best interest of the company as a whole. So then they want you to explain any behavioral problems that will result if the company's senior management insists on using solely ROI based on net profit rather than controllable profit to assess the divisional performance and rewards. It's wrong, right? When they do this, they're judging the divisional managers based on costs that they can't control. Can you understand? So what problems will arise? The staff in both divisions have been used to meeting targets and getting rewarded appropriately. Earlier they were appropriately rewarded. Why? Because they use controllable profit. Suddenly they will find that even though in reality divisional performance has improved, neither division is meeting its ROI target. Why? Because now head office cost is also under your control or just pushed onto you. It's not under your control, but it's pushed onto you. You are made answerable to that also. This will purely be as a result of the inclusion of the head office cost. The whole basis of being assessed on uncontrollable apportioned cost is questionable in the first place. However, if it is going to be done this way, at least the target ROI should be revised. Can you see that? They have not done that also. They expect you to still meet the old target. Staff are likely to become frustrated with the new system, which is inherently unfair. This could give rise to staff collectively opposing the system. At the least, they are likely to become quickly demotivated, working slower than possible and perhaps withdrawing things like voluntary overtime. The cost of the company as a whole is likely to be high and the situation needs to be resolved as quickly as possible. So this is a good question. Now what is I have done questions from all areas, guys, for practice. What area do you want me to do further questions in? Amna asked me to do questions from planning and operational variance, section A. Correct, Amna? Or what advanced variances? Basic or advanced? Shall we start advanced first?
What should we do now? From that we asked you.
Starting, Amna, what was your doubt?
Miss, is suboptimal decision making and dysfunctional behavior, both of these terms are same?
Yeah, similar. Making decisions in, like, let's say you're making dysfunctional decision making is you're not making a decision that's good for the company as a whole. The other one is also the same. Yes.
I do complement or revise.
What is your doubt? What you should be doing now? Now what you should be doing is practicing more questions, identifying where you are going wrong, making sure that that mistake is not done again, right? Because you have gone the syllabus, everything you know, right? And also,
I don't know.
so then whatever theory you don't know, that means you have to be learning and practicing questions on that theory. Then you should also be reading technical articles, examiners reports to find where students previously have gone wrong, because now you're also going wrong in certain places. So you will see, okay, this is a mistake I did and many others have also done it. So what happens, in your mind, you kind of set it up, okay, I should be avoiding this. So find the things that you should be avoiding. find areas that you are struggling with, you are making careless mistakes in, and with a relaxed mind, do questions from that area. Right? Do not, whenever you do a PM question, have your mind relaxed and very calmly approach it. If you try to, already the questions will try to confuse you. If you try to stress yourself, it will be even more difficult. So, with a relaxed mind, think, okay, they are asking you to find this, so what's the formula we use or what's the method we use? Just go by the method. And what is the information we need? And you just look for that information. Can you see that? Because you have tried to practice much questions as possible, right? And with PM, sometimes they might try to make the question look challenging to you, but the answer might be something very simple. Can you understand? And like this particular question we did now, normally we calculate ROI using control, but they kind of confused you, right? They told you to you do it how the manager wants. Be very careful in questions like that. Practice questions from section C, because you're getting a 20 whole mark there, and those questions are from like areas of performance analysis. If you want your question answers checked, send it to me. I have Amna's also a few answers in that area to check, right? Yes.
Miss, I did, I completed the study hub and exam. Is it enough?
Study Hub, Kaplan, yeah, that's enough. And if you have more time, look for questions in BPP. I think I have the soft copies. Just drop me a message. I sent the BPP soft.
They're both almost
It's almost the same. So, but there will be some extra questions on BPP that you can attempt. Study Hub, Kaplan, those are the only, and the BPP book. Right? Do questions from all of that. Right? And also the practice platform. The questions there. Don't miss that. Right? And the recordings for the previous papers that are not available now are available with PPIM. We have recorded it. Okay, so you can contact them to PPIM students. They're giving it completely free of charge. So get access to that as well. What are the
practice platform questions are in Kaplan as well.
yeah, most of them are. Some of them are new. Okay, and also make all of your timings are okay. You all know the timings of the paper. I think I sent you all the breakdown of the timings. 3-hour paper. I told you like how much of time to take for section A, how much of time to take for section B. You all remember that? You all know the timings. So keep note of that, right? For section A, I think. Wait, I'll tell you the timings again. Wait, I'll send it. I just talked about it. Yeah, so section A questions within 30 to 35 minutes, finish all the questions in section A. So for section A, take about half an hour to 35 minutes max for section, right? Try to finish it before 40 minutes. Section B, you have 17 minutes to answer one question. So that means within 1 hour, you should be done with the entire section B. 51 minutes actually in total. 51 minutes. You should be done with section B completely.
51 minutes for section B.
Yes.
Then why half an hour? It's 180 minutes, right?
Yeah, so listen. If you can't answer, you flag it and go ahead. Then you can...
If I start tracking,
So basically for section A and B, 1.5 hours. Listen to this. Section A and B, both together, take 1.5 hours. So if you take 1 hour in section B, half an hour in section A. Or if you're saving time in section A, you will take longer in section B. It depends. Sometimes they give you one challenging question to make you get stuck somewhere with time. Right? But those challenging questions, always approach it with a very relaxed mind. If you see the question is challenging, break it down. Try to draw a mind map. Can you understand? And see like what is this easy thing that they're talking in a very confusing way. That's what they would be doing sometimes. Something very simple, they give it in about 10 sentences to just make you go crazy. Can you understand? So you don't go crazy. What you do is you clear it up, right? So how do you do that? Just draw like maybe a mind map, just try to figure out what they are talking about.
it's like for me, another thing that happens is when the question is too simple, I go crazy. Like
That's what I'm saying. You be relaxed. When you're doing the questions at all times, just
like
Don't overthink.
Easily, like I think there's more to it than actually.
And also, if one question is taking too much of your time, leave it and go ahead. Come back to it after everything is done. Like, let's say you are thinking, struggling, it's not coming. It's just a 2 mark, right? Leave it, go to the next question. And after you have finished everything, come back to it, right?
Like, for
Don't waste your time.
For like theory stuff, I think when we don't know it, it's better to go.
Theory, if you don't know it, if you really think you don't know it, take a guess. Don't leave it
I
unattended.
mean, like section 8, like come back to it at the end.
Yeah, but for now, take a guess and then mark it to become. You come back to it later, but first you like, you will have, right? Out of this looks like the answer, but I'm not sure. But whatever your gut feeling was saying, this may be the answer, just mark it. Because sometimes, what if you have no time? You don't want anything like not to answer, right? What? Oh, okay, then
Finish.
that doesn't. What did you say, Amna?
Is it better to part C or part
I of course would say you do A and B first and then go to C, but some students prefer doing part C first. I don't know. It depends on you, like how you have been approaching papers, what area is easier for you. Because sometimes what happens is, let's say part C is tough. Okay, your entire mind is you're basically stressed with part C. That affects your part A and B also. Can you see that?
doing question first part C and then part A and B?
What? How
It's difficult, like part C.
So, do you think that in a 3-hour paper, if you get stressed in that first 1.5 hours, will it affect your A and B? Like,
Yeah, sure.
that's what I feel like. You try to do A and B first,
Within a mock,
but try to finish it within 1.5 hours, so that you have 45 minutes for one question in part C.
is when I did the mock here, I did section C. The pre-mock, I did section A and B first.
What's working for you?
I have no idea.
It actually depends. What happens is guys, what you do is, okay. What you can do is you can first have an overall picture of the paper
Yeah.
and see which areas you all are comfortable with. Sometimes the part C question might look a little tough. Then keep it for the end, because you finish off what's easier with a fresh mind, because you can score there, right? A and B. Can you understand? Why like get your mind stressed? But it depends individual how the students prefer. I would say go from A to C.
People who do C first and people who stress me.
Because sometimes A and B, it's all different areas, right? So more likely you are able to do, like sometimes an area is so tough and challenging, you are too much engrossed into that, and then after that you're stressed, your mood is out, and when you come to A and B, it affects your mindset. Can you understand? So you have to figure out what's better for you. Try to do some time papers and see what's working for you.
I thought we should take like 30 minutes for
Section C, 45 minutes for one question.
I hope like I did 30 minutes.
No, section C is 45 minutes per question. Finish section A and B within 1.5 hours. Okay. So section C for one question, you keep 45 minutes. Because now even when you are doing a performance evaluation, to get that linking, you have to think a little. Can you understand? You have a lot of thinking to do. Be very careful about the action verbs like explain, evaluate, discuss. Evaluate and discuss, they generally want you to give like a 2 picture, both sides of the picture, right? If it's explain, they expecting you to like explain your answer.
Then we evaluate and discuss. We don't have to give a decision.
What?
Give our point of view.
Your opinion. If they ask you for your opinion, and even in evaluations, you can give your opinion. That's not a problem. When the action word is discussed, make sure you talk about the 2 sides, the pros and the cons. That's the thing, right? If you see a very tough and big question, just don't panic, right? Panicking is not going to help you at all. With a PM paper, you have to be completely relaxed. And what do you do if something looks tough and challenging? You take a paper and draw a mind map. Can you understand? Now, when we do a question also, if it's too much, first thing I do is I take a blank sheet. Now, for example, the transfer pricing question. And I drew a map. Because I want to clear my head. What exactly are they saying? The pool of, a sea of words looks too challenging. So when I draw a map, it's clear to me. Can you understand? So clear your mind at all times. Do not make things even difficult by getting stressed. Okay. Um, the bigger the question, actually, the easier it is to answer because they will give you more information. So you can take it out of that. So don't get like scared for big questions. And also, when they ask you to write, like, let's say, give you a few points, right? Like a few reasons or importance or disadvantages. Try to give a few disadvantages, right? Or like, let's say, number of points with short explanations. For 3 points with explanation of each point, right? But wherever you can link, you have to link.
It's like that's what happened in the mock. For a 1 mark question, in the mock, they have like 2 paragraphs of question.
That is because they always give you extra explanations, right? So they won't expect a student to write that much. As long as you have answered to the point and given them what they wanted, they'll give you the marks. Workings must be shown for section C. Section C, show your workings, do your workings on the spreadsheet. Because why? They give you working marks. So you don't want to lose that, right? Just in case your answer is wrong, they'll give you carried forward marks from your workings and you don't want to lose that. So show your workings only for section C. A and B workings are not required. So don't go and spend too much time on having like beautiful workings. You can just roughly do your sketches and whatever formulas, right?
In section 3, what I did, how many marks would I use for that?
I have to see. I have to go
It's
through
a
it.
3 mark question. 3 marks each. Size variance, mix variance, and the yield variance.
I'll have to see with the marking scheme. Because the marking scheme, they'll tell you, give mark for this, give mark for that.
Very mark today.
Today, yeah, I'll try to mark it. Can you send me? I think I should be able to. I'll let you know. Right? Yes.
In few marking schemes, sometimes they ask about the operating profit. Then I try to calculate the operating profit margin. But they have allocated marks for like this much of percentage of operating profit has increased from last year to this year. Will I get that like if I calculate the operating margin?
That's the thing. That's what I told you. In these performance evaluation questions, just calculating that margin doesn't give you any mark. You have to talk about whether it has increased, why it has increased, what reason, what is it linked to. That's what gives you the marks. So just calculating the margin is not any point. Okay, Amna, you have to, in the performance evaluation section C, you have to give reasons.
But they are given the percentage of I mean, let's say 10%.
Okay. So you have calculated as increase from this much to this much, but they have given you the percentage increase. That's what I told you at all times in a question like that. You calculate the margin and also calculate the percentage increase. Because most of the time they give in the marking scheme the mark for that percentage increase. Right? So do both of it. That gives you a better picture. Right? Yeah, so keep those things in mind. So guys, it's very important that you all keep your confident and do your paper. Don't get scared during the paper, Amna especially. Don't get distracted by other students around you, right? Please try to keep your concentration and do your paper. Okay. So advanced variance analysis you wanted to do.
I feel there should be an improvement in the exam center.
Do anything.
What's wrong with it?
She gets distracted like by noise and things like that. So that is.
No, honestly. Even ACCA, when they give that form, feedback form,
There is a problem there,
I
no?
think we have to mention that. I don't think it's there everywhere. It should not only that problem. They, a lot of
Quality
people
of
are
the
like,
exams.
Yeah, the typing should be on laptops, that would be better.
You have any particular question you want me to do for variances? So I don't want to waste time doing
No,
those questions.
actually, it's fine if we don't, because I understand the question, probably because I was stressed yesterday. I was
Okay, but then can you tell me what areas you all want me to do then? Shall I just look for tough stuff?
So, examiner reports.
You want me to go through an examiner's report?
Other specimen paper is important.
You can do it for practice, no?
Does it have a section name?
Examiner's report. Does it have a
You can do
what paper?
specimen.
It should have. Specimen paper should be like a full paper. Syllabus and study guide about the study copyright.
It's not here.
Examiner's report. Yeah, MPM. I would know. It's not put here, no? No, here there's resources.
Yeah, the Google is here.
Resources only has a glossary, no?
These stuff are just in the
When will the results come out?
They will have put the date on Google, exact date. Wait, I'll check.
1 month, right?
1.5, 1 month, 1.5. The exact date will be put. I'll check and tell you. Let's look at the latest examiner's report, March, June exam.
What about September?
I'll check and tell you later. Section A, we focus on 4 specific questions that cause difficulty in March sitting. Section B, objective test question. Here we look at 1 case study for area C in detail. Section C, constructed. Here we provide commentary on 2 questions, providing guidance on answering these questions and where exam techniques could be improved. So in section A, these are the particular questions that student went wrong that they're looking at. Right, there was a question on relevant cost of material and very similar to what we have done. Should I try that question? These are the questions that student went wrong, so they have taken it. Wait a minute, I just want to have a look at this first before. They've only taken like particular questions, they've not taken everything. Like tough questions, they have looked at it. Okay.
Then what is this regression?
Regression has been given. By regression, it's there in that quantitative aspects R calculation.
I am trying
They are given a full question on that.
regression.
Yeah. You can get a full question on regression.
Like that will expand the
Okay, let's look at this relevant costing question first. After I'll go to section C. Yeah? I don't want to waste time in section A.
I don't think they will give material mix and stuff, right?
Okay, Dalico needs 600 kilos. You all first tell me what answer you would have marked, okay? Dalico needs 600 kilos of material K to fulfill a customer order in 1 month's time. It currently has no material K in inventory but expects to have 200 kg of material J in inventory in 1 month's time. So currently, do they have it in inventory? No. Material J is not perishable and will have no alternative use other than to sell it for scrap of 28. The 200 kg of material J could be converted into K in 1 month's time at a cost of 6 per kg. The current purchase price of K is $30 per kg and is expected to rise to 38 in 1 month's time. K is perishable and normally 25% stored material is lost per month. Dalico needs 600 kg of material K. It currently has no material K in inventory. And there is no K to buy from outside also. So how do you use K? You have to buy the J. Where do we have K? Where is the price? Current purchase price. Oh, there is. It can be bought from out. K can be bought at 30 per kilo. What is the relevant cost of material to fulfill the order? Now, when do they need this? They need the K in 1 month's time. So, what will you take for this? Material K, it currently has no material. That means it's not in inventory. So, ideally, they have to repurchase it. But is it regularly used?
So then what we have to do is just find the material K and then like for the current price and then find out how much will be remaining after.
Firstly, tell me, is material K regularly used?
Yeah,
How do you know it's regularly used?
they haven't been.
They only need this to fulfill a customer order in 1 month's time. If it's regularly used, we take the current purchase price. But this is not regularly used.
We have to check the buying price and also check the.
If you buy J and convert it, how much?
I know 1 month later.
J is mine, but now So in 1 month's time, we'll be converting 200 of J and we'll be purchasing K for the remaining one, 400 kg.
Yeah.
But then the remaining 400 we have to.
Material J has not material J has expects to have 200 of J in inventory in 1 month, and they are going to be having it. J is not perishable and will have no other use.
So then
So when that's no other use, what's the relevant price?
28 plus.
So look at the options they have. Dalico has 3 possible ways in which it can obtain the 600 kilos of J that it requires. It will wish to choose the lowest cost way to obtain it. Option 1, convert the J held in inventory to K in 1 month's time. The cost of this will be equal to the scrap value foregone, 28 plus the conversion of 6, 34 per kg. Purchase material K today for use in 1 month's time. The cost would have been how much after allowing for losses? Because if you buy it today, there will be losses, no? So the cost will be how much? If you're buying it today, you're buying it at 30. But there is a normal loss of 25%. That means in 30, 25% is how much? 7.5. Total of 600 into 30 into 25%.
That was 22,000.
Yeah, so basically, if you buy it today, you have to pay $30. But this out of this, only 75% will remain.
100 or 100.
Only 75% will remain. So 30 divided by 0.25. How you do it is
Nine is like 400 into 125 or something.
400 into.
125. I got
No, what you can do is like this. For that, wait, I'll tell you. There are 3 options. One is to convert the J to K. Okay. Second one is to purchase it today, but there will be a loss. Third one is to purchase it in 1 month's time. So let me look at all 3 options separately. I'll do it. How many kilos of K do they want? 600 kg, right? There are 3 options. Option 1 is what?
J.
To buy J. How much is J? No. Wait, J is already in stock. So basically, if you are using J, you are giving up 28 opportunity cost of J.
And 6.
Plus, you have to also spend 6. So how much are you spending then? 24. So for 600 kilos, how much will you spend? You have to multiply and see. Option 2 was what? To buy it now. Now if you are buying, you have to spend 30. But expected to rise. K is perishable and normally 25% of the stored material is lost in 1 month. So of this 30, 25% will be lost. Meaning, what is the overall cost? So this 30 will only be for 75% of the items, right? Only 75% of the items will be worth 30. So how? So you have to buy more. That means you can't buy 600 and leave it.
400.
You'll have to buy more, right? So basically, if you are buying 30, it will be 75%. So how much you will have to buy then for? We can do it like this. If you are buying it at 30, you have to buy. How much you have to buy? You can't buy 600. You will have to buy how many kg? 600 kg, 75. You will have to buy. You will buy more, no? Not 400. You will have to buy 800 kg. No, 800.
We have to buy 750.
I got the answer, but then I don't know it.
Yeah, I am doing it this way. Okay, listen. So if you buy 600, that will be only 75%, right? So you will have to buy 800 kg. So at 30, you will have to buy 800 kg. So that is 24,000. This is how much? Because why? If you buy 800 kg only, 25% will be lost and 600 kg will be remaining.
But then we have to find the cost per unit.
It's a wait. So this is 2400. Wait. So 24,000 you spend for how many kg? For 800 kg, no? What?
We only have 200 units of J.
No, when I'm buying, I'll have to buy 600, right? K. This is third. No, I'll have to buy 600. I'll have to get 600 of J. I'll have to get, I have 200, but I have to get another 400 of J. Still same thing. Next one to buy now. If you're buying now, how much will it be? 600 kg, you have to buy at 38. That will cost you how much? Oh wait, option 1 is wrong. Wait, option 1, correct. What you said was right. 200 kilos, it will be 34. That's the one in stock. Correct? Correct. Remaining 400, we'll have to buy. We have to buy K itself at 38. So option 1, 200 kilos cost will be 34. That's the one in stock. Right? Only 200 kilos, 34. The remaining 400 we'll have to buy at the current price. That's we have to buy K itself. This is J, this is K itself. So altogether option 1's cost is 22,000. Yeah, all 600 and 30. Out of the two, out of the three, what is the cheapest option? Out of the three, the cheapest option is option 1, right? That is to convert the J, whatever is there, and remaining what is not there, you buy it at the current price. Correct?
Then not buy now.
Yeah, not buy anything now. Because that this also is 200 kg will be there in 1 month's time, no? Right? So this was one tough question. Good to do examiner's report because you can see all the tough questions.
But then if they say it will be ready in 2 months, then we have to take it. But then it won't be there when we need it.
I didn't understand what?
And then if they change the dates and stuff,
Yeah, then you have to do according to that. But they would have given the question in that way. Like the information in the 2 months time would be given. Now they have not given 2 months time information, so we can't. Okay, do these examiners reports because you can see the tough questions are showed there. So you can also do examiners reports. Try those questions and look at the answers because the answers are also given for examiners report. Then look at this question, section C question.
My brain is out.
Why that was tough for you?
I don't know why I should solve it when the exam is closed. That's the worst thing that can happen to me.
Don't stress
you
yourself.
know, the other day I told like, to do questions in the bus and stuff. When the last said, we actually did that way. We did that.
Question in the bus.
Like in the crowded environment, like they get used to the
Noise. Yeah, you can try that.
He actually did it. He actually told me a story. So,
And he learned how to.
and he get on a bus and he do questions. So, he started to
If we look down and do like what they helping.
He's getting used to it.
Maybe did training.
Yeah, no.
Look at this question. There's been a question on linear regression. The question is from budgeting and control, specifically focusing on the using of least square regression or least square linear regression as a forecasting tool. This topic was an addition to the performance management syllabus in 2021 and I did questions because earlier it was not there. Now they had added, but students have Generally, there are less questions to practice. Students don't practice that area. What happens in the exam, they find it tough. So please do questions from that area. When JobCo is a staffing agency looking to forecast the demand for staff days based upon its correlation with the number of events taking place in the region. Part A is broken down into 3 requirements which require you to work through elements of the least square regression calculations. Use least square regression based on quarterly data to calculate the expected staff days. So they had given, you had to find A, B and then form the equation and find it. The case study is not given.
Then what, how
So we can't do it. Part 2 was to assume your answer in A gave you a figure of 30,000 expected days. Calculate the forecast revenue. No, they have not given.
no, the
Calculate the correlation coefficient R. There.
the full solution can be found.
Least square regression, linear regression is useful forecasting, although the mathematical formula involved may be daunting and that they are straightforward to use with practice. It may be useful to refer this article written to member. The full solution can be found in the ACCA practice platform and it shows the correct approach to calculation should be studied. A couple of points. Practice platform.
See, in the
Right.
I think you
This question I recorded. I recorded this question last time. I can remember. Last time there was a regression question in the practice platform and I recorded it. So that you watch it on the recorded platform how to do it, right?
we can do it too. It's there. See, the practice. You do
Some papers are gone.
some.
Some are gone.
Most of
Yes.
But then it's 2 ones out of syllabus too, right?
it's
Look at this. Discuss 3 factors the board should consider when deciding whether to increase the hourly rate. 3 factors are required for 6 marks. Hence 2 marks for each factor. Can you see how they have broken the marks down? Right. Discuss the limitations. So that when they say discuss, they talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the technique. Often form the base of the question in performance measurement. And so they are useful things to learn as part of your final revision in this requirement. There was no need for application. Know that the requirement was to briefly discuss. So any lengthy coverage of every limitation was not required.
I have this question.
You don't have to talk about so many limitations. Discuss the limitations. Wait, briefly discuss the limitations. So what they are talking, you have to talk about the limitations only.
Yeah, but then, you got this question and then I used the case study, like, but then now they have grown complete.
Some of the questions you don't have to use the case study.
Like, there was a question, like, explain that experiment means,
Building blocks model.
yeah, but then
It was not related
it
to
was
that.
not related to the
Then you don't have to discuss. Then you don't have to relate to the case. Okay.
But then we don't get application.
What other area do you want me to do questions from?
we have pretty much covered.
I have half an hour more. You can tell me what you want.
At this point, there-
Shall we look at another examiner's report?
This the examiner's report, like the downloaded version comes, right? Where they have like circled and pointed out that the mistakes of the student who has done the answer and stuff.
That will come for Cambridge. It doesn't come for his.
No, it's there.
Is it YouTube I think I found something?
Must be old ones now.
That's so many questions.
Now it comes like this.
Yeah, the YouTube.
Sometimes in these, if they see a significant big mistake, they would put it here and discuss it. It doesn't come all the time like that. Yeah. Examiner's report is good to do because can you see all tough kind of questions they are discussing here.
We had that kind of.
Process costing also, there's been a full section C question.
Process costing.
For each of the six dimensions of the Fitzgerald and Moon's building block, just identify one objective together with one corresponding performance indicator which could be used by Lemikia to measure performance. Objective and measure should be specifically relevant to Lemikia. Justify your choice of objective and measure. They're given the case also. Can you see they'll give it like this only in the exam. You talk about the objective, always like that. So you have to talk about the objective, the indicator, and your justification. So they make it easy for you.
And if they give the format, I'm pretty confident.
But they generally give it like that. But still you need to know the dimensions, right? So still you need to know the dimensions. I'm just showing you how this is given. With 15 marks for 6 dimension, it suggests that 2.5 marks are available for 1 dimension. There are 3 distinct requirements. So this mark allocation seems reasonable. Can you understand that? Lemikia is well-established airline which rebranded as a budget airline in the last 2 years. It is important to recognize that there is no requirement to assess the performance of Lemikia. They did not ask you to assess performance. They just asked you to see whether the indicator for each of the dimension, identify one objective with the corresponding performance indicator. That's all they wanted. Can you see that? They did not want you to measure, explain how whether they achieved it or not. The best way to tackle this type of question is to work through the dimensions one by one. So you go one by one. Firstly, select an objective for each, then ensure the performance indicator will enable the assessment of the achievement. They did not ask you to see whether it's they did not ask you to assess the performance. They asked you to find the objective and an indicator. Right? The requirement clearly states that both the objective and indicator should be relevant to Lemikia. Generic answers will score very little marks. So to be very relevant to this question. The requirement also clearly states that both the objective and indicator must be justified. Why did you select this as the objective? Why did you select this as the indicator? The requirements are clear. The difficulty many candidates had in this question was in appreciating the difference between objective and indicators. Objective is your objective, financial aim. Indicator is what will indicate when the objective has been achieved. Right? This is fundamental to the understanding of performance management. Many candidates did not appear to know what an objective was or could not suggest a suitable indicator. Objectives are what the organization is trying to achieve under each dimension. Performance indicators are what it will use to assess whether the objective is achieved or not. Now, in this kind of question, you don't go and assess the performance. You do what they ask you to do, right? Choosing appropriate measures can be difficult. It is a hard skill to master in performance management questions, partly because the time spent reading the scenario can feel like unproductive time. It cannot be overstated how important it is though, but in these kind of questions, reading and understanding the scenario is very, very important. As time must be spent reading and analyzing the scenario in order to identify suitable measures. The scenario for Lemikia was lengthy and offered a lot of information which could have been helpful in formulating the answers. But many candidates simply copied and pasted chunks of the text from the scenario without showing any understanding of the underlying issues with Lemikia. Marks will not be awarded for text copied without application. Candidates perform better in some dimensions than others. For example, financial was tackled better than dimensions such as resource utilization or flexibility. So you should know what resource utilization is. You should know what flexibility is. Then only you can identify suitable objective for that. And then only you can identify suitable indicator for that also. When proved to be more difficult. For financial, many candidates automatically select measures of ROC, profit margin. These are relevant measures for financial dimension but are generic and could be applied for any company. Measures which showed a better understanding of the issue facing Lemikia scored better. Lemikia is a low-cost airline who operates with tight margins. The objective here should recognize the need to either cut operating costs or increase revenue. The scenario gave examples of the cost issues around check-in and bag drop-off and the additional revenue streams available to Lemikia, such as extra luggage or pre-selected seats. These could have formed a relevant measure for Lemikia under the financial dimensions. So don't just talk about the generic ones. See what financial objective is this company's one and talk about that. Resource utilization was not well done at all. The dimension is about the organization making the best use of resources. Like for example, your average seat occupancy. A flight, how many seats is it occupying. Many candidates suggesting fitting more seats into the plane or leasing other aircrafts, which are about increasing resources, not about the best use of the resources available. A better measure here would be flight occupancy. How much of your flight is occupied at one point? This can be justified by explaining that it is better to fly with flights as full as possible, as many of the costs of a flight are fixed. The higher the number of passengers per flight, the higher the income you're utilized. We'll explain that, right? The resource, the flight, the space is being utilized better. Fixed costs are being divided by more passengers, right? Therefore, more profit will be earned per flight. So you have to justify, they ask the justification, right? Low flight occupancy rates would result in some flights making a loss. Flexibility also proved difficult, but the scenario gave information about cross-training of staff, and this would have picked up under this dimension. The more staff that are cross-trained, the more flexible. What do you mean by flexibility? How the flexibility is about, are you flexible with your service? So if your staff are cross-trained, that means they can deal with several situations with different culture, people from different culture, right? So they are cross-trained. The more flexible the company will have, as staff members can be moved around to tackle different routes. There was information in the scenario which could have been clearly associated with each dimension. So they will not put you in a difficult situation. In the scenario, they would have given you information. Now this question, Amna, it was just to identify the objective and the KPI. It was not to measure your performance. Some students have gone and measured performance. Can you understand? From the scenario, you just had to identify objective for financial performance, indicator, and why did you choose this indicator for the financial measure. That's all you have to give, justification. So you have to answer to the point. There was information in the scenario which could have been clearly associated with each dimension. For example, the detail of the new check-in machine could be used under innovation. The problems related to customer complaints could be used under quality, and the information regarding market share could be used under competition. Reading the suggested solution will give good ideas of what could have been used for each dimension. But it is more beneficial to try to work through the question first before reading this. This next question, discuss the issues that LEMICare faces with regard to the management of its environmental cost. Throughout the scenario, there are points related to environmental issues faced by LEMIC. They did not just give that, because they wanted you to help you with this answer. And these points should be referred to in the part of the answer. Whatever they have given you regarding the environment or those issues, you have to talk about. And because of that, what are the issues they are facing? The main elements to recognize here are that LEMIC is a low-cost airline, and in an effort to keep costs to a minimum, it leases planes which use cheaper and more polluting fuel. Cheaper planes may be polluting more. And it uses ground boarding, which results in buses leaving their engines running. As mentioned, they have mentioned that in the case, right? As mentioned previously, cutting and pasting sections of the scenario straight into the answer will not score well. It is important to make a clear point in the answer and then back this up with a reference. You have to give a point and then only take points from the case. Just copy pasting is not what they want. Can you understand? Due to this issue is there. The requirement here as per discussion, so it is important to develop the point made. Discuss the issues. So develop your points. Stating that LEMIC should use less polluting fuel. Give them suggestions how to tackle the problem. Or should use passenger loading bridges which would not score well as the environmental effects of these decisions must be discussed in the light of the low cost nature of the operation. Many candidates performed well here and were able to begin discussions relating to the public perception of polluting companies and how LEMIC could lose customers, and that LEMIC could face fines as a result of polluting behaviors. We have talked about those. Right. Both of you, those questions I have to mark section C1. Today, around 9 o'clock, send me a message. Reminder. You also send me a reminder, I will mark it and send it. Okay. Any other question I have to mark? Only that question what you send, no?
Yeah.
More.
The thing is, I sent the question before that you commented it. I want to know how much marks.
Can you resend that also at that time? Yeah. Around 9:30. Okay. I'll be free at that time to do such. Your one thing is I'll have to go to the practice platform and get the paper first. But I send me the paper if you can.
I gave you the question answer and the marks.
Can you send me the
What do you,
market scheme you have? Ah, then send it. Send it to me.
I mean,
Send me everything that's easy then.
It's raining so much for service.
Yeah, I think we'll finish early because it's raining heavily also.
I kind of have class there.
Do you have doubts, Mo, to clear? Okay, if not, we can stop.
I think if I do have doubts, like if I call you or message you,
Anything else you all want me to ask from here? Just ask the doubts before you all go.
should we start the other topic before the result?
That means when is the result coming? Just Google, just Google and tell me when the result coming.
January.
17 Jan. So Jan first week you will have no time to pay or see, you can start.
I don't have to.
You don't have to pay when you're initially starting itself, right?
My PPA, my pay, my all experience.
Ah, okay. So you can just start.
But then what if you
So you can tell them when I don't think you will fail as well. I think you can get paid.
I'm going to say actually. I wake up sometimes and think I'm going to fail. And then I think I'm going to do really well. It's like,
So far, any paper you did not fail, right? You had to get my section C marks, no? Yeah, that's it. I also don't think you'll fail because so far whatever the new paper you did, you managed to score above 50, right? Go through the examiner's reports, right? Because the examiner's report, what I noticed is there are some like the tough questions are given there. So if you manage to do that, it will be. See if I can find. PM. You saw the PM pass rates last time. Yes.
What's like the highest marks we get?
PM 80, 80s, 88, 80, 80, like 88 is the Sri Lankan prizes for sure. If you get in your 80s, it's like a prize for sure, yes.
Above 80.
Not for sure, but 88, 90 if you're towards, it's surely a prize. But above 80 also there's a high chance you can get prize. Sometimes 75 also can be the prize, Sri Lanka prize. Depending on the session and whoever
So like
scored
most
has.
students get between 50 to 70. That
Most students get between 50 to 70. Most students get 50 to 60, 65 like. Most students get 50 to 65. 65 is a very good mark.
above 60.
Yeah.
this
Less above
the
65.
whole paper.
Yeah.
The only subject I got more than 60 was technology. What is easy? Yes.
FR, yeah, but I think even PM you can.
Comparatively, I perform a bit lower than I perform in PM.
You feel like you do better in PM.
Yeah, but 68, 61.
Can you try this question? Try this.
I'm just trying to find a way to do more.
Raining. Yeah, I'm trying to get a bit. I'm also trying to get a bit, so I'm keeping, so I can give some work till then, rather than just sitting
No,
here.
actually, my mother is that really intelligent. They say,
Yeah, they say, oh, they keep you waiting for so long.
yeah, she was like, it's okay, come here, put them down now. There is a situation.
Last time we went to, I went to that cell through the back door.
Really? Yeah, you can get the.
Yes, but
Because my friend's brother-in-law owns, so she took me through their back door.
Yeah. We also had that influence, but today those people who have the influence.
That sale is diamonds and stuff. Jewelry. But I think like throughout the year they're the same price. Yeah, if the diamonds.
People, they don't buy. They use their existing things.
What do you mean?
Very well people do get it.
Yeah, so they don't buy
They use
from.
what they have.
I think their profits are really high, these guys, because they have good market. And I don't know. The thing with bullions is their diamonds are good. But
Yeah, and they
it's-
don't even give their gold the price they give for. It's like we went and got it checked. Like, who would give for this price?
Yeah, during the sale it's good. Last time I went. This time I had no time.
Like throughout the people slowly finding they in
Devi has good good gold.
Collection.
Their gold is their gold is good. So let's say you're reselling it, their resale value is the highest in Colombo. If you have their seal on it, their gold is very good. Yeah, you can need. By the way, I asked her to try this. Greco has two divisions, A and B. Division A manufactures component T500, which it sells to B and to external customers. A has an annual capacity to produce 20,000 units of T and has estimated external sales of 12,000 units of T for the current year. So that means 8,000 they can transfer within. Each unit of component T costs 20 to make, up to 15 variable costs and 5 fixed costs. Division A sells T500 to external customer for 22. Division B needs to purchase 14,000, but the thing is they only can buy 8,000 from its side. In the current year, assuming that decisions are made in the best interest of the company, what is the minimum total cost which B would expect to pay to A for supplies of component T500 for the current year? Assuming that decisions are made, okay, what is the minimum total cost? Total cost. So basically for the first 800, they'll be willing to sell at the variable cost. Correct? The first 8,000. The remaining, if they are to give them more than that, that means if they are to give them 14, meaning how much more? 8, 6.
70.
No, they have 8,000 spare capacity, no. But these guys need 14,000, no?
The remaining 6,000.
6,000. For the remaining 6,000, they will charge the internal variable cost 15 plus lost opportunity cost. What's your lost opportunity cost?
22 minus 20.
22 minus 15, no?
But then the fixed
Contribution, lost contribution. We don't take fixed cost. Lost contribution. 22 minus 15, what's your contribution loss? 7. So 15 plus 22. 22 itself. No. Yeah, so 22 itself. So basically, first 8,000 at 15, the remaining 6,000 at 22. How did they get that 22? Variable cost plus the lost contribution, right? So total cost they have asked. That's pretty easy. Okay. Okay then. Please do these questions on the examiner's report. Once you all are done with everything, go through the questions on the examiner's report because they are challenging questions. Right?
examining for and then if I have time, it will come. Because I have almost done one.
Okay, then do examiner's questions first. Yeah, because you know why? Because there are tough questions, you know. So it's good. And final do Kaplan if you have time remaining.
I thought I could complete the plan, but I think I
You
might-
have time. I feel like you can do it.
I mean, I think I have like,
Guy, you have time to do.
no, I think I have come.
Yeah, Kaplan, there will be a few remaining. You have done already half from the study, half I have done. There is just a few remaining. Do this and then do that.
And practice that.
That the TRG one, I'll be recording it and putting it up, but your ones I'll anyways mark for you. Your one, right? Send me a message around 9:30 today, okay? I think your mother is still stuck in the cell. If you wait outside, you have to wait for so long.
Yeah, no, now they're inside.
They went inside. This time I had no interest in going.
I don't want to go there. That's the thing. That's why I'm relaxing and eating, and then I'll call them my classes.
What time you will
But for gold, of course, I feel they will, like you said, what time? 9:30 in the night, yeah, send me an I have to take the checks also.